Let's find out who that is.
You got 2 words for either of these 2 teams. For Stalwart, the name of the game from here on out is revenge. For Elevate, the story of the weekend is going to be repeat. Only one will have a chance at surviving into the grand finals. We've got an inter-region rivalry between Elevate and Stalwart in your lower finals. Let's get it on.
Stalwart Esports, Hacienda Hardpoint versus Elevate. Never a good look. Constantly vetoed in the greener region, but they were able to beat Wolves 250 to 182. That is why it is existing after the summit was taken away, and they're starting off wonderfully with the opening time.
Something that we've seen from both of these arena teams, the ability on P1s to get good counteractive time at worst by early stacking the hill. Elevate able to push off Stalwart after the first 14 seconds come through, and now they're working on that macro game as we talked about. Split spawns for Stalwart, some towards Wine, some towards Well. Neither finding a lot of success on the hill, but now they can join forces and try to hit together from either side of the hard point, and they will do so with great success.
You got a well spawn coming through from Yop. He actually takes as an opportunity to hit through you rather than trying to play for the rotation over towards New. With Elevate still finding the eliminations around the current time, gonna get themselves up to 30+ points, and that's a great spot to be in, especially when you're late to fight for the spawns over towards New. Susano's here, Kendi's also there to join him, but Clove, Jai, they shut it down in spades.
Susano's double, though, is massive. Problem is, hardpoint is locked, but spawns are open. Stalwart will spawn behind P2. Pinch on the way. Yopi playing over towards water. Not able to see the member inside the hardpoint. Reef turning his attention to catch a couple, and now you've got an early Tempest from FDX, and oh, mercy. Lightning coming through over towards Tiles. Can't find the last member at Rock, but he's getting those little trail hit markers, and eventually he's able to find it. Problem is, keep an eye on the minimap. Elevator already quickly playing through driveway until FDX shuts it down with the Pred missile. It is beautiful.
Can't ask for a better start. FDX, big value with the Tempest. Pred missile is going to reveal all that information where the enemy team of Elevator spawning, and the kill feed is still electric in yellow. 20 seconds left to fight over here on P2, and Stalwart are going to walk away with the majority of this time. Elevator forced to make a decision here. You can't get more operators out. Skirt already throws away his death machine at the tail end of this, so that's kind of a big utility that you're going to be missing going in towards the third hard point potentially, but you still have so much util to dump in towards it.
This is fine, though. I think if you're Stalwart, yeah, you spend 2 early operators, but you do regrow the lead after being down 30 to 15 to now 15 points of your own. So immediate flip, but oh, Kendi on rotation. This is what we're talking about, where Elevate finds success. Early rotates, perfect setups, picking apart their opponents, and outside of a couple of stray members spawning for Stalwart, Elevator looking good for the first 20 seconds.
Equalizer's now for Clove.
Whoa.
Player to watch out for, gonna shut down Susano. You got these back spawns still coming through from Stalwart Esports, and the patience just is not there. Reef, a secondary good player to get a good shout as far as his clutch ability and hardpoint is concerned. Rips the Sparrow, finds himself a nice little 3-piece. It calls for more utility to be dumped on the opposite side as Elevate are trying to trade for the resources, but it's still Stalwart walking away with the majority of the time.
Yeah, Jai, backside Wine. Good for one. Equalizer's trying to get the scrap time secured for Elevate, but Clo could only find one. Numbers, though, from the front continue to find success on the hard point for the side of Elevate. How about it? If you weren't awake from the last series, jostle your jimmies. We've got a tie game here as we head over to P4.
Yeah, stay hydrated because we're going to be sprinting out through the end of this one. I can only imagine no team has really gotten a single leg up, I want to say, since Elevate were able to get the majority of time on P1. We're just trading. Now we go over towards P4 with a 2-second lead.
Big win.
Looking for the resources to come online for a couple of these two teams, but still, Stalwart Esports going to be here first. They will have the rotation 1 and the luxury of playing each corner.
Elevate playing over towards P2 side, though, finding a couple of kills to get through Tiles. Clo in the hard point, finding the win. That is a quick flip of the hill to Elevate. So quick. That's been the staple. It existed last year. It exists this year on top of that, but little windy outside of Rock as Elevate not able to lock down the shots, giving Stalwart a chance to contest. Pistol out for Clove, not going to work, and Elevate get the reinforcements back first.
That was off of spawns as well, so a reinforcement here for all the nades. Susano going to drop down over by water, hops back up, will lose his life, but the luxury of spawning over by office, you will have a certain positional advantage. So Stalwart going to have to do the old-fashioned way as Clove is able to lock away 3, going in towards the second set of hard points. Just about a dead even game going in towards P1 once again.
Difference maker that you could call for each of these individual hills were Stalwart, early operators finding success at P2. Elevate, better efficiency when they used operators at P3. Everything else has been about a 50-50. So, a small edge for Stalwart, but with numbers controlling the window hallways, an opportunity to get in for maybe some early time here on Fountain. Numbers also coming through, and Skurd Whoa, bold call. Deep death machine. And if you couldn't tell by how I brought that one out, don't love the call of that. And Stalwart will be pushed back as Kendi tries to get to work with the War Machine. Susanoo follows with the death machine of his own.
A death machine, War Machine. Now PJ's going to rip the Tempest. It's a really odd time to be ripping three different heavy-hitting operators, especially in the hands of Elevate. A little nervy, isn't it? Stalwart going to be able to shut that down with relative ease, and Jai's going to be sitting even happier because he still has the EMP available.
Hello? What are we doing? We just used 4 operators for Elevate to try to take players out of the corners around Fountain, and it doesn't work. And now Clove could just play his life. Equalizers just to stop Elevate from getting through Fountain, but this is what we're talking about. He may not be finding kills, but this is value because he could play a solo island mission around the old time. Stalwart now have an edge, an EMP, 2 Preds, and a couple of operators. Huge moment in this game for Stalwart to take a commanding lead.
Stalwart have every single ounce of opportunity to be able to snowball this fully. Jai pulls in the Predator missile from his Herculean spree. He's going to be able to find himself too in the information that all of Elevate, the majority anyway, also spawning over by Driveway, and that means that FDX can just flank it for free with the XM4, misses out on the secondary, but Susanoo is one shot, literally no stimmy. This is looking great for Stalwart as they're starting to resource dump once again.
Yep, and you still have the EMP available, so your ability to counteract the heavy usage of these operators could be massive. 150 to 95. Stalwart are punishing the mistakes of Elevate, and now FDX go and give it to you. Go and give it to you. Backside lobby, he's found a couple with the Tempest. Read onto another. Oh! FDX is on 34. Someone put a leash on him. He's out of control.
So much value being found with the Tempest among other different operators being ripped here for Stalwart Esports. EMP already utilized from FDX. You still have Jai's in his back pocket going over towards the rotation towards New. Elevator's still fighting at old, so which means that they're going to be late towards this rotation. And if you're looking at this from Stalwart's perspective, you actually spawn closer over by P4. Some members for Elevate do cut through the 50-50 yard line of the map, which means that Stalwart will get those split spawns, but it all comes down to the 2 players that are here to hold the line to buy time for their teammates.
Yeah, Susanoo not able to double down means that Elevate from top patio need to win these gunfights, and so far they are. Well spawns for Elevate, guarded by Skurd, and a couple of other members for Stalwart who have gotten a read on this. So contest coming through. Little slip and slide for Clo, eventually dealt with. 1 member spawning behind this play has Elevate squad spawning towards the back. Do Stalwart get a read? Now they will, as their teammates will spawn up over towards Well. FDX trying to follow up, not able to get there in time. Tempest out for PJ. Death Machine out on top of that from Patio from Susanoo, and Elevate are starting to work their way back into this game with a clean wipe over the top of the hill.
Jai was never in a position to be able to get that EMP online to shut down all of these operators that we use. Yopi now with the Sparrow going to be the tail end of this P3, and Elevate, like you were saying, are starting to chisel away at this lead. Now it's just about a whole hard point in between these 2 teams, and Stalwart going to look to hit through the old time, get back office in their favor while they're setting 2 players on the long flank for at least a pinch. They know that they're late towards this rotation, and Elevate are going to be having the luxury of playing each corner. War Machine already out for Kendi.
Whether it's COD Mobile, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 6, those that are familiar with Hacienda will know that P4 is where comebacks come to life. EMP, though, advantage to Stalwart in terms of utility dumping. Trophy systems trying to get back in, but Elevator winning the gunfights over the top of the rock. Can they find more? Susanoo down low with the combination of PJ will rip through STE. Clove, though, with the equalizers will gain another opportunity for Stalwart to jump back in, and with the numbers, they'll crack the 200 code.
EMP was used there for Jai to be able to push all the way through. Skurrid's going to be able to find himself up on the 3 spree, but the trades are starting to come through for Elevate, but they don't have the positional advantage. They have those bottom office spawns, and they're forced just to funnel through with their nades all the way from the boathouse. Pinstripe kill feed comes through, but Stalwart Esports, they make the right decision with that leader's advantage just to try to keep P4 as heavily as contested as they did to get as many resources as possible so that way they can maintain this lead.
Huge leader's advantage for Stalwart, but this game is not unwinnable for Elevate. We can't be throwing knobs, though, just at Fountain. We need to get clearance around the hill if we're going to pop anything. And PJ's got a Tempest out, and he is hunting. Finds the first. Does he get a read in the second? Sure does. And now he's taking his attention back open towards open hall. Stalwart largely split on these chaos spawns right now, and Elevate the whole time have been comfortable inside the hill. A couple of individual kills come out, but PJ is starting to heat back up again. He's on 41. Pred missile to get the information and an EMP if he wants it.
Red Missile will get that information. FDX, again, is absolutely flourishing in a lot of these different circumstances from 1 to 2. The EMP is going to cause Stalwart to be honest, while Elevator is still mixing it up in through the upper hallways. But Scourge goes unnoticed. It's getting good damage, but the VMP ain't going to nuke from that range. It's not the Fennec from back in the day. PJ will jump down and will end up finding elimination. Stalwart Esports are throwing away their lives. Luckily enough for them, Elevate don't recognize it and push all the way through, so they still have that side of the map. But what a dent into the lead Elevate have made, now trail by 30.
And that was, again, Stalwart throwing their lives in at a very awkward time. Elevate could hold the next line of scrimmage, and now they can get to work playing on rotation just before the lock comes through for P2. Cleaning out Zig is Susano, traded by Jai. FDX quickly trying to get them way back into the hard point, and they will find a couple of kills. Now STE trying to set up a pinch through lobby. Elevate in the mix to try to get back into this game, but Jai locking things down through driveway with the War Machine. No, shut down, and PJ's got another Tempest. Can he lock up a couple of shots as they play through tiles? Not fully. Skirt up top, playing the Lambo heady, and STE get past 230.
Forced to stay alive, tries to drop down underneath of the Lambo, just spamming inside of Zig, just buys enough time for his teammates to get here. FDX has another Tempest available. Reef also rips out the Sparrow, and Claw for the Equalizer. They can close things out here still.
Equalizer trying to push forward. Last 5 seconds needed. Elevate finding the kills, though, as Candy's able to get through. But has anyone read Jai? Can he possibly foil this hit by staying alive inside of the smoke? So far, so good, but eventually neutralization comes through. Last 3 seconds. Clove shut down. Stalwart are hard committing to this. If Elevate can win the gunfights, they may get to the new hard point first, and Clove is finding the success. They can still win, though. Stalwart are fully committing, and Clove says, bet! Trying to finish this one off. Elevate are going to survive, and take a look at the minimap. Who's there first? It's Garina's best.
Stalwart Esports still going to get those back off the spawn, so they're going to have an opportunity as the hardpoint is yet to pop. They trail by 30 points. Kendy's going to rip out an operator. You got Clo there with the Equalizer, just feeding him even more eliminations, and the spawn to flip. This is looking gross.
They've got to read that Stalwart are spawning behind, but a couple of kills for STE have them playing through wine until Kendi and Clo can shut down the play. Pred Missile in the mix. As soon as Clo loses the Equalizers, expect him to pop this out, and that's exactly what comes through. Now you've got a man-made UAV. You've got Kendi getting a read. The rest of Elevate still holding in the sight, but the time continues to build an advantage for Stalwart. They just need to get on. They just can't get the numbers. Susano's keeping them off with the Death Machine.
Trying to at least play for these last-second trades, any sort of numbers advantage. It's too individualistic. Stalwart Esports are sprinting into these gunfights one by one. Popcorn nade comes through for Jai. Is that the opening?
They don't have the numbers. They don't have the numbers. Can they find the kills? If you wanted somebody, it would be FDX, but they're not able to find the eliminations.
49.
Oh, 249, 244. Last contest comes through. It's going to be a foot race to do, but there's Pred Missiles and Tempest in the mix. Is this a breakdown with a capital B? It very well may be. It's going to be down to one player. Kendi to contest. Does he have help? He doesn't need it. He's got a War Machine. Glow! Oh my goodness! 246, 249. Elevate with the numbers. They're not going to get back. They're not going to get back. It's a full breakdown.
An absolute devastation, a momentum perspective. Like you said, like that's devastating. And whether they're showing that on their face or the poker faces are strong, you like to think that it's in the back of minds of at least someone, but this is what makes pressure into Diamond's professional gamers. It's Coastal Search and Destroy, and Stalwart are on the offense first.
Okay, now keep in mind, Elevate defensively, we're showing a lot of aggression early.
That's right.
And they're showing it again by playing down through the A tunnel. But Stalwart have gotten a 5-man stack going. That's disgusting, but the trade is good. You should be able to just push on through this. Know that you've got a numbers advantage. Late nades also coming through here with trophy systems to support for Stalwart. They should get a plant, and FDX confirms another elimination on the backside of the site.
At the moment that you lose Yopi and he goes 1-for-1, Kendi maybe throws a shoulder, throws his utility, but it would have been a nice pinch as the 3 players are finally here.
Clo searching for something through the windows. Does not look like there are any nades available for this retake. So someone's going to have to hit, and Susana misses the first. And that's smart from Stalwart. Just back away. Don't give him a second chance. Follow-up nade. Ping-ponged off the sidewall. An Elevator in some trouble here. Late Trophy does get down, but Reef has already pushed forward. DJ can find one trade, but nothing more. Stalwart, good commitment, come away with the opener.
Would have been a lot more influential with that back pinch coming all the way through. So Yopi's going to keep that feather in his cap. He saw a lot of players just immediately challenge inside a winery, something you're going to have to consider when we're going in towards the latter half of this offensive side for Stalwart Esports. They do love that aggressive hit. They do love to up the tempo. That's how they were able to walk away with a lot of offensive rounds. But this time, A little bit more slow, aggressive push up towards the middle of the map, and Jai was just holding it, so that's a big gun out.
Jai and FDX both playing that angle. Jai will connect not once, but twice as Elevate were trying to re-challenge the angle as the smoke started to encompass a lot of that cross. Nade lands onto Susano. Wow, and STE say, bad, bro. We're in there, like proverbial swimwear. Hey. PJ, for one, slips away, but now he is stuck, and I imagine Stalwart will just surround him and say, come out with your hands up. No, they're just going to rotate to B.
He could catch timing. Oh, he could catch great timing. It all comes down to trigger discipline and what this looks like. If anybody's going to expect them to watch the flank, there's no way we don't turn around to expect the flank. They think he's still going to be coming from their side of the map, but to retake this bomb site, once they already have it fully covered, Clove with the HSO, going to have players watching to the backside of this bomb. He's going to have to rip 2 players straight.
He's going to try to find a crosser first if he can. Misses a window there. But FTX
does it cleanly.
Over Chals, gets punished. 1v3 from here on out. And Stalwart are holding hands. Nade cooked. PJ, almost. Almost a world where he can slip back out and get another reset into the 1v2.
Which is the second player was holding a nade, so it was very likely. But a little bit of an overchow rather than trying to get back behind the cover. The third player does activate and finds the weakened remaining player for Elevate. 2-0 lead goes Stalwart. They've shown the aggression over towards B. They showed good timing here in the middle of the map. This time, Kenny wants nothing to do with it. I mean, Jai, FDX, they're still holding it, while the rest of the team is trying to cause distress on both sides of the map. Bomb Carrier of Skirt is just waiting for the go-ahead on which looks best from his teammates.
Different setup here as Stalwart will get one of their snipers in towards mid-statue to play forward. And I think if you're going to utilize this spot best, if you're Stalwart, is, toss a couple nades, keep that angle clear, and see if you can force the defense to rotate through that scope position that you're holding. A little show of force from Clove, but we'll back away. Follow-up nades coming through, but Stalwart looked like they just want to collapse possibly on this B side instead of playing for the defensive rotation from A.
I love that call out of Stalwart, though. They were going to smoke out in the middle of the map knowing that Kenny's very much so still alive and maybe playing for an exit out of the restaurant, but they don't end up finding it, so now they're going to potentially have to do this the old-fashioned way. What util is even left on either of these two teams? So I believe a shoulder was thrown here for Clove. He's going to be looking for that engagement versus Yobi. He does get his stun out, but now sub 60 seconds, you would imagine you're not going to get into B with any out.
This is a huge clear from Kendi. Susano's going to keep his scope up. He knows for a fact that this has got to be some sort of an A hit as the action towards B has faded away, but overstays his welcome, and Reef will be the entryman for 2. Got to clear off the side shops. Yeah, PJ not fooling us, brother.
Yeah, no. Nice little jump challenge there to be able to take him down. And last alive would be Kendi. 1v4, and starting to think whether or not Susano taking that very forward approach would really start to call for either assistance or just try to sprint away. 1v4 not on the cards coming through from Kendi. It is a flawless start for Stalwart Esports. Their offense showed aggression and also a lot of patience. But this time around, they just kind of hang around the joint. Just expect for anybody to overchow, even getting a little bit more methodical with their smoke grenades to try to bait out a challenge. But by the time that first blood came through, it was all but boots on ground and just trying to get that bomb planted. That aggressive play again over by A.
Yep, this is what we saw versus Q9. This time it works out for them. So early numbers advantage. We have seen Elevate hold these positions once they take them, and that looks like that will once again be the case. So obstacle has been thrown into the mix here for Stalwart. First time they haven't had numbers, and first time they really haven't had any map control.
You only saw one, though, off that challenge. So that should be a lot of good information. You just hold him in the mid. You don't see any extra smoke. So, yeah, it's got to be over towards B. You can throw a shoulder for PJ. Yopi's here with the PKM, just ready for the spam. Now you're just down to sub 90 seconds. I mean, 3v5. Did we square peg round hold this by chance?
You're going to have to. Yeah, I just don't know what else you can possibly do here unless you get this kill onto Susano. Nope. Not yet. Susano will play a safe angle, knowing the clock has started to turn in Elevate's favor, and Kendi will re-wrap back to mid and catch one transitioning. So should be comfortable here for Elevate. If they drop this one, it would be a cataclysmic breakdown. And doesn't look likely. Well done. Good adjustment, and that aggression coming to play here for Elevate.
Correct. And Q9 were doing a bang-up job of just expecting it, whether that was VOD being read or not. It's the first time that we have actually seen that check come through from Stalwart Esports, and they'll end up getting caught with it. So Elevate finally put themselves on the board. There's still 2 rounds left in this half. FDX a little bit late there on the trigger for that first blood, but that's all good information. And I like this from Stalwart. They do counteract the aggression. It's met by a couple of trophy system denials from Chloe and Susano trying to get in that forward approach, but this time they come back even stronger.
Problem is, now you got another first blood for Stalwart. Get in the read, get in the response, and counteracting what we saw Q9 do the exact same thing versus Elevate. You want to play aggressive down A main? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's take that.
Well, the trophy system just from 2 players throwing their nades isn't going to be good enough to be able to get it. So they throw all the util. They push around the corner. One of those was a flash, so Susano wasn't there to be able to keep Chloe alive. And off that first blood, they're going to take that doubt potentially caused over by the A bomb site. Smoke grenade is going to clear out through mid. That can mean a lot of different things, but they're going to try to brute force their way in towards B, where Shotgun's still waiting for them.
You have to 2-2 split this, and Kendi has to connect. Yopi in some trouble on the site. Oh, mercy, Susano. Not common to see him whiff that many times in a row, but Yopi has done well to cut this mid connector off. Okay. Would have figured that Stalwart with that smoke through mid, we're just going to kind of use that to block information and then flood from the front, but not the case. They try to pinch, and Yopi gets a perfect read.
Yeah, they fully execute there off the smoke. So Susano will end up hitting that last shot, as uncharacteristic as the last few were, to close out the second for Elevate. But the last time that they had that late smoke to actually cover the defender spawn, it was just a peek inside of the restaurant, but this time they actually just enact on it, and they just try to push all the way through. But a couple HSO shotguns not funneled out by some grenades. That is the B site defense through and through. So Stalwart are going to go back over towards A where they found that first blood. The nade will land right in front of Chloe. It will not connect, but there's nobody in this close position. So Stalwart are doing a much better job starting to clear away these angles, just depending on whether or not they try to push this, because the hard read is here.
Yeah, I was about to say, the Elevate have not seen a hard read into B since round 1, and are trusting that they can just hold a passive angle with Kendi watching and then hard stack on the site. I really like this idea for a blind counter. That helps.
Showing a little too much hip there, Jai. We'll lose that first blood. That means that Elevate can continue to hold their angles.
Would you say that his hips don't jai?
Only Ian can get away with stuff like that, man.
I hate myself. Kendi following up, seeing a little bit of pressure at B. That will force one defender over, so that limits the presence of Elevate on the A site. This is just a fake smoke, fake feed. Nade into the site, just trying to keep Elevate interested on B, and they're going to go back over to A. Susano's a little thick, trying to get around the corner. And Stalwart now have an opportunity to execute with numbers.
Everybody got big hips trying to escape here. Gonna get caught on the fixture. Here we go, they execute over toward A, but the hard defense is still here, all the way to the backside, up top around the stairs. Shotgun play here for Yopi, dealt with PJ, also able to take down Clove. It's a 1v1.
Hell of a pinch from Stalwart. Time becoming a bit of an issue. Clove, BMP, playing up against the Odin of Skurd! Oh, mercy, Skurd! Can't lock the shots down. It was down to 1 shot, 1 HP maybe, but can't finish. And we've got an even exchange through the first half.
Oh boy. You know, the last time Elevate found themselves at a 3-3 half, they ended up losing 7 straight. But this time, they're the ones that were down 0-3. Over towards the offense they go. They really do love the aggressive play to try to get in towards B, but the difference is that it's no longer Q9.
Yeah.
STE are going to be setting themselves up the same way as we always expect them to, with an HSO close, but there's no trophy system immediately.
Clove just playing a corner. Number 1 in yellow, there he is. He's playing an angle to escape back through mid-cut.
He's gonna go.
A little food for thought there. Clove will back away. He's gonna have to ask for help, though. He can't just say mid-sight with the shotty. Or will he?
Well, they think that it's a bluff, right? Because there's no other util, no other shots being thrown. This kill would be massive if the shoulder fully gets thrown out there. Skurd, he's just gonna lock things up in the corner. All the 2 players for Elevator still hanging around the joint there inside a wine, Allen.
I think Elevator are confused that Stalwart have not rotated over to try to assist onto Clove, who has backed off the site. Now they're going to get the info. Shots won't land, but that's information. The defense is rotated back over. Skurd's going to hang out a little bit longer while Reef hits a pinch. 1-for-1 the exchange, down to 45 on the clock.
They might redip that pinch as well. Susano's going to catch off Skurd as he was trying to get a little bit of an angle there through the middle of the map and counting the names, thinking that we know these guys at this point. Those are your A defenders. They might try to get back over towards A, but Stalwart have already rotated on this side. These 2 players got to hold.
FDX. Has to land. Oh, he gets a hit marker. Oh, and then gets flashed beyond recognition. Clove, Jai, last one's left. And Jai's stuck inside the underneath tunnel.
Man, Jai really thought that it wasn't going to be that case. He was going to go help out his teammates. 2v4, excuse me. And Clove's got the HSO shotgun. He would be the player to potentially find a two-piece if he could.
Here comes the play. It's double stacked. Clove meets it. A little bit of tags, just keeping the defense back. But the trade comes out. Now to a 2v3. Time becoming an issue. Underneath 20 seconds to fight for. Susano hits once. And the angle is being watched. Jai is able to connect with a flash, but cannot get through the shotgun to PJ. It's 4 in a row for Elevate.
I'd have to go back and like really try to dictate the understanding of Elevate, because you got the information that the shotgun player is still playing inside of line. That's pretty normal. But the timing of not seeing anybody back through mid or the util back over towards your spawn is really interesting. I would have expected them to hit that site 30 seconds sooner. So here we go, in towards this aggressive fray.
Here we go. All gas, no brakes. Stalwart respond, though. That's the bomb down. As you see us switch the perspective away, Chloe able to keep the play relatively alive, but the follow-up from Susano is shut down. Numbers early for Stalwart, but the play not over. Elevate snipers just not hit one.
You were saying?
Nothing. I was saying absolutely
nothing.
1v1 opportunity. Skirt, pistol out. Kendi playing for the objective.
Bomb has been planted.
He's gonna push for the
Skirt with the pistol. Bang! 1v3 for Kendi. Makes me shut my mouth.
Doesn't happen all too often, but it does happen every once in a while. Sniper's not hitting. Kenny's like, hold my apple juice, brother. I got you. Quick scopes coming through off of the bomb play. I thought that challenge with the machine pistol was going to be good. 2 points away now for Elevate to take a 2-0 lead in this series. And they're going to continue the aggression. I mean, when you go back towards their offensive side, the only value they had was the aggressive hit over towards A.
Oh, again! Susano says that looked like fun. Let me join. Reef able to find a couple, though, holding that back shop's position. Tags over towards tunnel. A little bit of trouble to secure the kill, but Clove will drop. 2v2. But no bomb. And STE get a read. Can't find the kills, though, and will reset.
It does tech both of them. They're going to continue to try to up this ante to try to recover this bomb.
And then
Eight comes right over the top and get that bomb planted and maybe try to play for the 1-for-1 position inside of shops. They would have enough time to try to rewrap this all the way around, but because they're committing towards the side, are they going to expect the flank?
Pinch set up here for ST on the retake. Oh, PJ says not interested. Down now to FDX. PJ playing through shops with the boxing gloves. Are we kidding? Prize fighters hit hard.
All right, so it's good to know. Hey, mids beat shotgun. It's a very aggressive game of rock, paper, scissors, I'll tell you that much, but still able to walk away with that one. You go back and like the Odin versus another player in a 1v1 didn't go his way, so I mean, maybe that could have been the decision.
I think it's just I've got speed on my side.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Whoa! Nice shot from Jai, takes down Kenny. That's a big gun now gone from Elevate's offense. Stalwart are looking to tie up this game.
Tough fight through flash for Chloe. Punished. Stalwart showing some defensive aggression. Now quickly on the track back to stop the cut through A mid. Susano. Whoa, what a shot. Not going to get the second, though, as Jai is able to put him in the dirt. And now numbers for Stalwart, trying to get this to level terms. Oh, PJ.
Hey, he's expecting an immediate flank. What is even happening inside of line? He will die, but now we got ourselves a dead tie game in round 11. Stalwart are starting to crack the code of Elevate, trying to find their aggression or elevate over towards one of these two sites, but the trade game is just way too strong, and the rotations are even better. When push comes to shove, multiple players are stepping up. Kendi, not happy about being first-blooded. We'll take it right back.
He's like, let me teach you something real quick.
This is something about time.
Let me show you that this is not a 1v1 you're going to take every time. PJ clears out skirt down low. Tags are in. Machine pistol follows as Yopi's there for the team shots. Elevate still hitting with aggression. Just a small variation of where it comes from. And now Kendi takes away one of the clearing angles, leaving Chloe in a 1v impossible.
And here's the shades of Elevate's former self. 2024 champions have fully arrived off of the aggressive hit and being able to mechanically outplay their teammate, or their enemies, excuse me. Slides back, Chloe. Gonna be showing his hand, and he's gonna get pinched there by Chloe in the end. So up to map point now for Elevate. Stalwart Esports, if you're new to watching at home, convert this upcoming round. We will go into overtime where we're gonna be side swapping until one team wins by 2.
Yep.
So now what's the call for Elevate? continue to aggressive hit over towards A because it's working out.
Yeah, Kendi's going to play a more passive angle, but winners want the ball. I know for a fact Kendi's saying, don't smoke my mid. I want to see what I want to see. And he'll hold that angle. He saw one player on the cross to B. That actually calls for nades out of the Elevate offense into the site. It doesn't look like any of those had landed, though. But Kendi still connects, shuts down some aggression from FDX through the mid-cut.
They've already thrown some nades.
Oh, and they know.
Line. And it's one smoke through mid, but it covers off the...
What are we doing?
So, yeah, Kendi gonna try to go for the dry challenge. The moment that the smoke disappears, doesn't have the angle available. It's going to tie things right up here for a piece. Close on an island. Looking for a play down low here in shops. He's just waiting for his teammates to try to clear the rest of the map. But you don't have a smoke to re-clear this all the way through. PJ, did he get scouted?
I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it. But that's a freebie on Reef that does not get converted on. That's a huge mistake for Elevate.
Right.
So, yeah, you've got one player in the back of the site for Stalwart's defense, and that's Reef. Talk about what consequences could look like if he stays alive and finds another one. Here comes the pinch. Flashes are in, clearing the backside of the site. Yopi, does he check the right corner? No, he doesn't. So Reef gets 2 for what should have been none, considering he was found. Skirt on the train. Now it's on to Susano, playing alongside PJ for the plant. Nade over the top. Doesn't look like it fully landed, but Elevate will be scattered on this post-plant setup.
Nate's going to clear down low in the stairs there for PJ, who's the player on the site. Susano's going to show his hand through mid. So now you know that there has to only be one player isolated on the site.
And here comes the stun right up the staircase. But the smoke for PJ gives himself a chance to play inside. But he gets a couple of tags into him, has to back away, and he will. Susano also, hit markers coming through. Down to 20 seconds of the clock as the smoke will fade. Do you have anything for Stalwart? Here comes the bait and switch. Susano hits once, PJ hits twice. And Elevate come back into the map.
No, that's bias with a U and a Y. You can't do that.
But literally bias, give me money.
Opening offense here for Stalwart Esports. They're going to throw that wrench into the system, just try to get inside a bus stop. Elevate, they've dealt with this before, not even an hour ago.
Yeah, wrench in the system, but Elevate say we're mechanics like at this point. Reef able to find one. Kendi seeing the pressure from top double. Over by Broken is Reef with that machine pistol, having a hard time locking down the HS shot, and Elevate have controlled the map tempo early, down to a minute on the clock.
So where are you trying to draw the line here? You're just hoping for maybe an easy opening to get at least one player on the A control zone to complete that first segment and get more utility out. But you're in such a good position. If you were Klo, gives away his life. Hold on a second. Elevate have done this way too often versus Q9. Like that A zone slowly being worked on, giving away too many lives for information.
Yeah, trying to play that crossing angle first for a re-execute first blood. But Stalwart have continued to get their shotguns deep through Broken and now can make their way up to the corner. Wow, what a read. Hello? Susano, a little snap over, had some team shots in the mix, so good comms from Elevate being executed on. Life lead still in favor of Elevate as they get this to a 17 plays 13, and it looked like they're going to be pretty happy, or at least voluntarily going to allow some extra ticks to be captured on this A zone. Not enough for a full capture, though, as PJ will step up and get some depletion going.
Only halfway down towards that depletion. 16 plays up against 9 is the biggest win condition, and PJ is firing and he is screaming. Finds his 9th elimination. Allows Yopi to get into a position to maybe win this 1v1, and as shaky as it was, it's still another elimination going Elevate's way. 60 seconds maybe added on towards the board, but Elevator's still hanging around, giving away a lot of lives. Luckily enough, PJ's able to combine for 2 and immediately stop that push dead in its tracks.
Yeah, this has been absolute, well, to use the word purposely, controlled by Elevate.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it's just, they are picking and choosing their battles very nicely. Even when it looks on the minimap like they're giving away too much space. Maybe they're playing too passive, playing that B cross.
Sure.
Life lead is a life lead. Doesn't matter how much time you have left. And now it's where's Waldo, as Jai will try to force the hand to Elevate to come to him while everyone else is trying to charge up their ops.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine if he can try to get himself. This first segment could actually be influential if you think about it in the grander scheme of things. As fun as operators truly would be, Jai could also be doing the same, does have his war machine already available, but segments could end up baiting out players into unfortunate situations, but they will lock that one segment at the very least, while Elevate wanted to charge their operators. PJ getting away with highway robbery off of the initial B execute that Stalwart Esports were looking for, but that's just why you don't see that happen all too often, because a lot of the time you just get crossed up. and then you immediately lose that life advantage.
Kendi looking for the long cross through ramp, sees the shoulder. That's enough for a War Machine to be earned, and PJ is ripping apart the defensive crosses through mid. There were no smokes there, because why would you want one there when you've got Annihilator and Tempest out? PJ, oh mercy, you think he's feeling himself? A little bit of over-aggression coming through, though, and Stalwart will battle back after the initial onslaught was successful for Elevate.
I mean, you got a 4-for-9 trade through the opening engagements and no segments of progression whatsoever. So it's the one thing that Elevate are normally good at, hopping on the objective off of a wave of gunfights. They do not do, but they do have space from those previous engagements that weren't won, plus a life advantage. Stalwart Esports do have a good position inside of Broken. Elevate are going to have to get past that cross. Smoke Grenade's going to be a little bit late, but they already have players over on the A control zone working on the second tech.
Yopi getting forward through Broken. Oh, good timing on this route. Does he get a second? No. May not make much of a difference, though. It's a 6 life lead, and the extra minute is looking very imminent. Kendi, nice shot. Klo holding close on the half wall at hold. That works. Has a shotgun. Sees Jai. And he wants it. He wants this 1v1. Flipping the map on him. Whoa, little wiggle, little wag. Slide, slide, slippery slide. Who's going to land the shot? No one at the moment.
What's happening?
Oh, goodness. 16 plays 9. Elevate still in the lead, but have not finished that A zone.
Benny Hill music really ringing on true. Skurd now has the Death Machine ready in tow. Got FDX ripping the Annihilator as well, trying to keep everybody out of reach, but ripping these operators you were hoping to find in abundance of eliminations. This time it's PJ and Kenny still picking things up where he left things off on the search and destroy, finding some snipes on the map. The A control zone will be converted.
You can feel the deflation right now in the room.
Yeah, I can.
Stalwart need a catalyst, need a spark plug. 5v14 though. FDX runs out of his Annihilator charge. Now has to rely purely on the scope. And Elevate are willing and wishing Stalwart into this web they're spinning up.
Just post up, see if you can catch any free kills, but Stalwart Esports hoping to do the same, and maybe they can bring them this one back, but it's not looking too likely. Reef Jai, they have operators. Maybe they find the pick. They could push it a little bit further forward. FTX misses the initial shot. He is dead in this round, as the rest of Elevator are looking to flush out where the rest of these players are all located at. And that's going to be an offensive conversion. It's not just going to be a 2-0 in the series right now, Alan. It's a 2-0 in the control.
Yep. And those are two very convincing rounds.
I'd say.
The mega giga Chad reverse sweep needed. Need to win 3 in a row in the control, 3 in a row in the map count if you're Stalwart. Otherwise, history will continue to repeat itself in a lot of ways. Not only will Stalwart not have an opportunity to take down their interregional counterparts, but there will be a rematch again between our 2024 grand finalists.
Equalizers out for Reef. Jai opens things up with a War Machine. A lot of it is nullified via the trophy system, and then Stalwart said, bet. I got gonna start pushing forward there with the equalizers once they knew where the trophy system was located at, and just try to flush them out of all these eliminations. But Elevate, they kind of falter as far as the initial trades are concerned, but Stalwart, what's a life advantage if you don't hop on one of the zones?
Oh, Yopi with the quick swap finds another. And you're absolutely right. Trying to prioritize the spawn trap. The clock gets under 60 seconds, and Elevate have worked their way back into some key positions. Largely thanks to Klo with the Tempest to clear A. The rest of the forces of Elevate keeping their focus over towards Ice Cream, over the top of the heady, full force from Elevate. And you can feel it. They just know they're better. This is the old-fashioned hold W strat. We're just better than you.
Still only a 2-life lead. This is still doable for Stalwart Esports. The problem is they don't have any operators to back this up. Smokes are going to come through. They got FTX in a good position to try to get inside of the bus stop. He's just going to be playing the crossfire for now. Trying to wait for his teammates of Reef to get up close and personal. PJ with his operator will be shut down. A-zone's now going to get hopped. 30 seconds remain on the clock, and you need to convert this if you are SC.
Tempest pulled, but doesn't find anything. PJ re-clearing Broken. He wants more, too. PJ saying, I'm the MVP of the world. Let me show you why. Oh, let me show you why. Third tick being worked on, but PJ is not done. And you can hear him coming through our mics. He is feeling the fire. 9 plays 6. Stalwart trying to work their way back. But Yopi's right there to follow. Now a 9v5. Then the extra 60 seconds is going to feel like a victory lap for Elevate at this point.
Yeah, you just capture this so that way they can continue to run at you. 3 quick kills do come through. It's only a single life lead now that Elevate do have. Death Machines pulled. Clove also pulls out their Tempest. This is the last operators you get to pull out the World Championship, boys.
5v3. Make it v2. Skurd. Jai. Last one's left. And PJ is still hanging around. Yopi. Katniss Everdeen cosplay after Halloween comes through. Gonna finish it off! And Elevate, no worries, no problems, kind of, as they take a 3-0 versus Stalwart.